Hello everyone, welcome back to online lecture series on heat transfer. We are continuing our topic of radiation part 2. So we will quickly begin with heat exchange between non-black bodies, and we were left with our previous topic of infinite parallel planes. So we will continue from here. We have already done enough discussion on this figure, and now we will quickly work on the analysis part. Here it will be alpha 1. So let's begin. So here we will begin with amount of energy left surface 1 per unit time. That is, here if we see, it is E1 that was left, minus alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 2 E1 plus alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 2 square E1 plus alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 1 square into 1 minus alpha 2 cube E1, and so on. So from where this equation has arrived, we need to calculate the amount of energy left the surface 1. So this is being absorbed, so we are subtracting all those components which are being absorbed. So the only thing which will left is the energy which has left surface 1. So the remaining are being absorbed by the surface 2, is equal to, now here E1 as it is, minus into the bracket alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 2 into E1. Let's take this common. So what we will get now, 1 plus 1 minus alpha 1 1 minus alpha 2 plus 1 minus alpha 1 square whole square into 1 minus alpha 2 whole square plus so on. So here it is equal to E1 minus alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 2 E2 into the bracket 1 plus P plus P square plus, where what we have done, we have taken P is equal to 1 minus alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 2. So finally what we are getting now, so this is the value of Q. So this can be written as is equal to E1 minus alpha 1 1 minus alpha 2 E1, this is actually E1 into divided by 1 minus P. Why 1 minus P? Because this term P is less than 1, so that for this series we can shorten it with 1 upon 1 minus P. So now it is equal to E1 minus alpha 1 1 minus alpha 2 E1 divided by 1 minus alpha 1 1 minus alpha 2. So now we can take E1 common into 1 minus alpha into 1 minus alpha 2 divided by 1 minus alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 2. Now as per Kirchhoff's law, we can replace alpha with emissivity epsilon. So E1 1 minus, here it will be alpha 1, so epsilon 1 into 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by 1 minus epsilon 1 into 1 minus epsilon 2, which is equal to E1 into 1 minus epsilon 1 minus epsilon 1 into epsilon 2 divided by 1 minus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 plus epsilon 1 epsilon 2. So here is equal to E1 into 1 minus epsilon 1 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2 divided by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon. So now is equal to E1 into epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 plus epsilon 1 epsilon 2 divided by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2. So here we will have removal of this. So finally what we are getting is E1 into epsilon 2 divided by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2, that is for Q1. Similarly we can get Q2, that is Q2 is equal to E2 into epsilon 1 divided by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2, that is the value of Q2. We can similarly write down. Now the next is the net heat exchange between 1 to 2 is Q1 to 2 is equal to Q1 minus Q2. So we can directly write down this very quickly, that E1 epsilon 2 minus E2 epsilon 1 divided by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2. Now we can utilize the Stefan-Boltzmann law, that is here as per Stefan-Boltzmann law we can write down, instead of E1 epsilon 1 sigma b T1 raised to 4 epsilon 2 minus epsilon 2 sigma b T2 raised to 4 epsilon 1 divided by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2. If you don't remember, we have utilized this formula. Epsilon is equal to, sorry, E is equal to epsilon sigma b T raised to 4. Okay, so now getting back over here, we can write down this for in this way, that here is equal to epsilon 1 epsilon 2 divided by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2 sigma b T1 raised to 4 minus T2 raised to 4. Here we will be getting is equal to F122 sigma b T1 raised to 4 minus T2 raised to 4, that is the value of Q12. Here F122 is equal to epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 divided by sorry, plus is not there, epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 epsilon 2. So finally what we are getting is 1 divided by 1 upon epsilon 1 plus 1 upon epsilon 2 minus 1. This is f1 2, and this is known as interchange factor. So that is all about this theory and derivation part. So let me copy this. We will copy this in two parts. Now let's begin our next theory. That is, now we are having infinite long concentric cylinder. Here, now there is one inner cylinder which is having area A1, temperature T1 and emissivity epsilon 1 with radius R1, and similarly we are having outer cylinder with corresponding values. Consider two large concentric cylinders of areas A1 and A2 respectively, having epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 emissivities, and their surface temperatures are maintained at T1 and T2 temperatures respectively. By reciprocity theorem we can write down this, that is A1 F12 is equal to A2 F21. Now here the important part is the inner cylinder. The inner cylinder is completely enclosed by the outer cylinder. As such, in this case, the entire heat radiations emitted by inner cylinder are intercepted by outer cylinder. So whatever radiations coming out of the body 1, that is inner cylinder, is completely received by the surface 2, that is outer cylinder. So F122 will be 1. Now consider the energy emitted per unit area by the inner cylinder. All this emitted energy at any instant will eventually come to rest either back to inner cylinder or into the outer cylinder. This process involves following sequence of absorption and reflection. Now we will analyze this part. So let's first copy this. Now this derivation is slightly complicated, so we will be spending more time on this. So here, first of all, we will write down the reciprocity theorem, that is A1 F12 equal to A2 F21. Now, as we have seen that all the radiant energy emitted by surface 1, that is inner cylinder, will be received by the outer cylinder, so F12 will be 1. So A1 is equal to A2 F221. So here F221 is equal to A1 upon A2. Now let us take that surface 1 emits E1, that is emitted by surface 1. Now let us take surface 2 absorbs alpha to E1. So alpha, let me write down alpha to E1, that is being absorbed by the outer cylinder, and we can replace it with emissivity, so it will be epsilon to E1. Okay. Now surface 2 reflects. So how much surface 2 will reflect? Here it will be equal to E1 minus epsilon to E1, which is equal to 1 minus epsilon to E1. Now this is being reflected. Now surface 1 will absorb. So surface 1 absorbs is equal to alpha 1 F221 into 1 minus epsilon to E1 is equal to, we can write down epsilon 1 into A1 divided by A2 into 1 minus epsilon to E1. Now if you see carefully, now here we are having F221. It was not present previously. Why? Because F122 was 1. This value was 1 at that time, so we were not counting it. So now again, this is the value that we have obtained, E1 into epsilon 1, 1 minus epsilon 2, A1 by E2. Now we will take care of what A1 reflects. Is equal to previously it was this value, 1 minus epsilon 2 into E1 minus epsilon 1 into A1 by A2 into 1 minus epsilon 2 E1. So finally what we are getting here is equal to E1 into 1 minus epsilon 2 into the bracket 1 minus A1 by A2 into epsilon 1. So this is the value that A1 reflects. Now the energy absorbed by inner cylinder on second reflection so we will directly write down this. We will not go into detailed explanation of this. So here we will be getting E1 into 1 minus epsilon 2 whole square epsilon 1 into A1 by A2 into 1 minus A1 by A2 into epsilon 1. So this is the thing that we have obtained. Now the next is total energy lost by inner cylinder per unit area is given by, which is equal to E1 minus E1 1 minus epsilon 2 into epsilon 1 A1 by A2 minus E1 into 1 minus epsilon 2 whole square epsilon 1 A1 upon A2 into 1 minus A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 and so on. Here it is a minus sign. So here we can take E1 common, so here we are getting 1 minus let's keep A1 upon A2 first. A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 1 minus epsilon 2 E1. E1 is already common, so we don't need to write this, minus one minus epsilon 2 square epsilon 1 A1 upon A2 into 1 minus epsilon 1 upon epsilon 2 E1, and so on. So here one more thing that we can do is, let's move forward. 1 minus A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 into 1 minus epsilon 2 into the bracket 1 minus, here we will have 1 minus epsilon 2 into 1 minus A1 upon A2 epsilon 1, and so on. So now what we can do is, we can shorten this infinite loop with 1 minus A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 into 1 minus epsilon 2 into 1 minus epsilon 2 into 1 minus A1 by A2 epsilon 1 inverse 1. Here is equal to E1 into 1 minus A1 by A2 epsilon 1 into 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by 1 minus epsilon 2 into 1 minus A1 by A2 epsilon 1. So this is the value of Q122, and similarly we can write down for Q221, which is equal to here one more thing, that we will not go into detail of this right now, but we can simply write down Q122, which is equal to, upon simplification what you will be getting is E1 epsilon 2 divided by A1 upon A2 into epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 epsilon 2. Now Now energy lost by the outer cylinder to inner cylinder will be in this way: E2 epsilon 1 into E1 by E2 divided by, the denominator will remain same, that is E1 upon A2 epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus E1 upon A2 epsilon 1 epsilon 2. So let me tell you that these two equations are directly written. Now we can copy this. Now we will see the Q. Here there is one error. This will be Q1 and this will be Q2. So net will be Q1 to 2, which is equal to A1 this is per unit area. Okay, so now Q1 to 2 will be A1 into E1 epsilon 2 divided by A1 divided by A2 epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 epsilon 2 minus A2 into epsilon 1 E2 into A1 upon A2 divided by the same thing over here, that is A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 epsilon 2. So finally what we will be getting out of this is A1 E1 epsilon 1 minus A1 E2 epsilon 1 divided by A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus A1 upon A2 epsilon 1 epsilon 2. This is the value of Q1 to 2 that we are getting. And now, as per the Stefan-Boltzmann law, we can make some improvements over here. So as per applying Stefan-Boltzmann law, sigma 1 epsilon, here it is epsilon 2, sorry, epsilon 1 sigma b T1 raised to 4 epsilon 2 minus A1 epsilon 2 sigma b T2 2 raised to 4 epsilon 1 divided by if we take a1 upon a2 common from first and third term of the denominator, then epsilon 1 epsilon 2 into 1 divided by epsilon 2 minus 1 plus epsilon 2. So here few terms which will be again common in the numerator, that is here a1 is common, epsilon 1 epsilon 2 sigma b. So here t1 raised to 4 minus t2 raised to 4 divided by the whole denominator, that is a1 upon a2 epsilon 1 epsilon 2 1 divided by epsilon 2 minus 1 plus epsilon 2. So here finally what we will be getting here is a1 into sigma b into t1 raised to 4 minus t2 raised to 4 divided by a1 upon a2 into 1 minus epsilon 2 minus 1 plus 1 divided by epsilon 1. And here this will be defined as another interchange factor, that is f122 a1 sigma b t1 raised to 4 minus t2 raised to 4. So this is the value of q122, and where f122 is equal to 1 divided by 1 upon epsilon 1 plus a1 by a2 into 1 minus 1 upon epsilon 2 minus 1. That is also the interchange factor. Okay, so this is about interchange factor. So here I need to make few changes. This is q1, q1 upon this, all are per unit area, so we need to divide it with areas. Okay, now we can copy this. So these are the two topics which I have given you in self-study. Small gray bodies and small body in large enclosure, which is already based on our previous two theories. Now let's move forward to our next theory, that is electrical network approach for radiation heat exchange. So first we will focus on the second figure, in which we will define the radiosity. What is radiosity here? It indicates the total radiant energy leaving a surface. That is, you need to focus over here. Total radiant energy which is leaving a surface per unit time per unit surface area. So what does it comprise? It comprises of original emittance from the surface, that is this curvy arrow, and plus the reflected portion of any radiation incident upon it. So if consider this radiation which is incident, so some portion is being reflected. So let us say total radiant energy incident is G, so the reflected portion will be rho into G. So radiosity is equal to the emittance plus the reflected portion, that is rho into G. Now what is irradiation? It denotes the total radiant energy incident upon a surface per unit area per unit time. Some of it may be reflected or become part of radiosity of the surface. So we are talking about irradiation G. Now for the opaque way, a non-black surface of constant radiation characteristics, the total radiant energy J, that is radiosity leaving the surface, is sum of its original emittance, that is this curvy arrow, plus the energy reflected rho G by it out of the total irradiation impinging upon it. So hence we can write down this, that J is equal to E plus rho G, which is equal to epsilon into EB, being it a non-black surface. EB is the emissive power of perfect black body at the same temperature. Since no energy is transmitted, so nothing is being transmitted over here. This is not possible in opaque surface. So transmissivity will be 0 and alpha plus rho can be written as 1. So we can write down this, that instead of rho we have written 1 minus alpha, and based on Kirchhoff's law we can replace alpha with emissivity epsilon. So we have obtained the value of irradiation G, which is given by J minus epsilon EB upon 1 minus epsilon. It is quite easy, simple mathematics, you can do this by yourself. Now the net rate at which the radiation leaves the surface given by the difference between radiation and incoming irradiation. So it is like this. This is our radiosity J minus the irradiation G. So this is like capital J minus capital G. So by simple mathematical calculations, you can obtain this value of Q net upon A. So here Q net is equal to area we have multiplied on the right hand side. So we have left with this, and we are keeping only EB minus J in the numerator, and remaining things are kept in the denominator, that is 1 minus epsilon divided by capital A into epsilon. So here the above equation, that is this equation, can be represented in form of electrical network as shown in this figure. J1 to J2, and the thermal resistance is this, that is 1 minus epsilon upon capital A. Epsilon is related to the surface properties of radiating body called as surface resistance to the heat transfer. Here now we can consider another case where the radiant heat exchange between two non-black surfaces. Total radiation J1 leaving surface A1, and only a fraction is received by the another, that is with this shape factor F122. Likewise, the radiation by surface 2 and received by surface 1 will be exactly reverse of that. So the net will be like this, that is J1 A1 into F12 minus J2 A to F21. This is quite similar formula we have seen in our previous lecture also, and with the help of reciprocity theorem we can write down this. So the net heat exchange is given by this formula, where J1 minus J2 is kept in numerator and divided by 1 upon this will be our surface resistance. That is also written over here, this is the surface resistance. Okay, So the same here is shown with this figure, that here in this way we are having the surface resistance present in this case. So the electrical network corresponding to surface resistances of two radiating bodies and space resistance between them is shown with the figure. So we can write down the net heat exchange between two gray bodies in this way, that EB1 minus EB2, that is the difference between these two, divided by the sum of surface resistances, that is 1, 2 and 3. And we have applied the Stefan-Boltzmann law, and we have obtained one value Fg12, which is here equal to this formula, and this is known as the gray body factor. Now our next and last theory is radiation shield. So here first we will focus on this figure, that here we are having infinite parallel planes having temperature T1 and emissivity E1 and temperature T2 and emissivity E2. And the corresponding thermal resistances are also shown in this electrical circuit. Now to reduce the overall heat transfer between two radiating surfaces, one can place a radiation shield between the emitting surfaces. So what are these shields? The shields are thin opaque partitions arranged in the direction perpendicular to the propagation of radiation heat and made up of material with very low absorptivity and reflectivity. So we will if the direction of heat flow is this, then we need to put radiation shield or partition in this vertical position. These are of very low absorptivity and high reflectivity. So the shields introduce a sort of additional resistance in the heat flow path, and accordingly the net heat flux is reduced. So first we will discuss first case in which there is no radiation shield and the net heat exchange between the infinite parallel planes is given by this formula that we have already seen, that is Fg122 is gray body factor. And for convenience what we are doing here, that for the given configuration of parallel planes which see each other and nothing else, then F12 will be equal to 1, and the area is equal. So here in this case we are having the gray body factor as this, and with modification of this formulas, that is this and this, so we can reduce the equation in this way, and finally we are getting the gray body factor in this case is 1 divided by 1 upon epsilon 1 plus 1 upon epsilon 2 minus 1, and we can write down Q12 again in slightly better way with this formula. Okay, now we are having case number 2, that is the placement of radiation shield between the two planes would neither remove nor add any heat to the system. Under the steady state conditions, the screens attain uniform temperature T3. Now we are discussing about this radiation shield. And heat transfer between plane 1 and the shield. So here the heat transfer between the shield and the plane 2 is given in this way, So first let us focus on this figure. So you can see that we have put a radiation shield whose temperature is T3 and emissivity epsilon 3, and this is the corresponding thermal circuit here. So these are the thermal resistance due to the emissivity part. These are the surface resistance. So Q will be same. So first we have discussed this Q13 net. So this will be equal to sign over here. So to write down over here that what we have done is Q13 net is equal to Q32 net. So the same formula is applicable over here in detail, which we have seen in our previous slide. Now let us say both are having same emissivity, then we can obtain this formula T3 value. So this is directly written, and because of limitation of time we are not deriving this, so we have obtained the value of T3. The value of heat exchange can be written in this way, that is Q122 can be written in this way, and the radiant energy transfer as in our previous case, it without shield and with shield. So if you see, so this was without shield, this formula was without shield, and we have calculated the same value with shield, and we have taken the ratio of this formula and the previous slides formula. So we have taken the ratio as with shield and without shield as this ratio. Now let's assume that the emissivities are same, so the fraction will take place value of 0.5, and thus by inserting one shield of heat transfer rate, the heat transfer rate is reduced to 1/2 of the original value, and the corresponding value of T3 can be obtained as this. So from where this equation is obtained, because here if we take epsilon 1 is equal to epsilon 2 is equal to epsilon 3, then we will obtain that equation over here, that is for T3. And then the heat exchange without any shield was this was already there in our previous slide. So here by taking common epsilon and F12 as unity, we will be obtaining this formula, and with one shield and the common values of epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 and epsilon 3, we will be getting this. So here if you see the comparison of two equations, that is this equation and this equation, then comparing the expression shows that the heat flow ratio with shield becomes just half of what it would have been without the radiation shield. So I haven't gone into detail of this mathematical simplifications. It is quite easy and straightforward, that can be done by you also very easily. So this is the end of radiation part 2. So in our next lecture we will begin with a new chapter, that is heat exchanger. Thank you for watching this video.